The music industry was set up to take advantage of artists who don't really care about the money.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of fallout still with bands getting paid.
They basically told us to shut up and go make another album.
Why music labels are screwing over musical artists big time. Subscribe to the channel and comment down below saying I subscribe to enter this month's shoutout giveaway. Number 1. A record deal can cost a fortune. When you sign a major label record deal, you are often signing away the possibility of making any money off of record sales. Seems kind of backwards, right? According to The Root, for every $1,000 in music sold, the average contracted recording artist makes about $23.40. For those of you keeping score, that's 2.34% of gross. That sucks. The average full-length record deal is literally a mile-long minefield of hidden costs, bullshit fees, and recoup clauses from the 50s that were left in to screw you over. Don't believe me? This article from TechDirt touches on a clause that is common among modern record deal contracts.
So they sell 85 of every 100 CDs to a retailer.
Right.
And they give 15 away free.
They brought this
but
up
they
in-
charge a higher percentage for the 85. So the label doesn't lose money. It's literally just a way, because the artist gets paid off a retail royalty, it's a way of giving away 15% of the CDs so that the artist doesn't have to be paid on those 15.
Breakage. In the days of vinyl, shipping music across the country could easily result in a few broken records. So, record labels charged artists a 20% breakage fee. That means that the record industry was claiming that 1 in every 5 vinyl records created would break in transit. I call bullshit, but it gets a lot worse. Obviously, vinyl is far more delicate than a cassette tape or a CD in a big plastic case. Even still, record labels continue to charge a 20% breakage fee when the industry largely shifted over to tapes and CDs. Luckily, streaming and digital downloads represent the majority of revenue now, so the days of bending artists over barrels for a 20% breakage fee are over. Oh wait, they're not. Record labels still charge 20% fees for breakage in what they are now calling digital breakage. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. Breakage, container charges, free goods, and reserves are all recuperative clauses that get buried in long-term record deal contracts. These clauses are engineered to perform one orchestrated task: confuse and exploit artists for almost 75% of their royalty rate. Notice I said royalty rate and not revenue. That's because record deal contracts often allot only 10% of profit, if you're lucky, as a royalty to the recording artist. As if that wasn't bad enough, this royalty rate is negatively impacted by the clauses we just went over. But it gets worse. Your royalty is calculated out of profit. That is, any expense your record label deems necessary in the process of creating your album can be written off against your revenue. So, while you may only need your bandmates in a good sounding room to record an album, your label will be saddling you up with songwriters, expensive studios, top producers, session musicians, and more, just to make sure you're making something that they deem to be marketable. You don't actually have much say in this process. You can't just tell them you don't need a songwriter so that you can keep more money. If your A&R says you need a songwriter, you're getting a songwriter. Now, pile all of those costs on top of your entirely recoupable album advance, tour support, independent radio promotion, and the chances that you will ever make money off of your recorded music drop to a definitive 0%. In fact, you may end up owing the record label some money, even if you sell millions of albums. But surely it's worth it, right? Because you couldn't possibly market yourself online and make money all by yourself. A label is going to give you access to massive exposure and marketing strategies that can help you blow up worldwide, right? Wrong. Number 2, getting offered a record deal is a catch-22.
And now you look at 30 Seconds to Mars and they're touring like madmen, and then you realize, oh, it's because the label's not taking a cut of the tour.
Unless you are able to build a sizable following all by yourself, a major record label probably won't be interested in signing you. If they do, your contract will be awful, like not even worth a meeting awful, like emailed to you blank without a conversation awful. But let's say you do build that massive following. That means 50,000 to 100,000, and record labels come sniffling for your secret sauce. They're going to buy you weed, take you to the Spotify offices, and tell you you're the coolest fucking guy or gal in the whole world. They're going to make you feel like your time has arrived. All you've got to do is take it to the next level. Can they help you take it to the next level? Yeah, totally. Unless, of course, you don't think the best place for your music is down the throat of every man, woman, and child in America. That is, if your A&R likes their music enough to release it as it is. Spoiler alert, I don't think they won't. Major record labels won't help you market. Take it from this girl, who got big on YouTube, signed to a label, and then found herself telling her own label manager how YouTube works. Major record labels suck at marketing. They suck at it. Some managers are really good at it, but make no mistake, there are few and far between. I know a lot of amazing marketers. I have had the privilege to speak directly to people who have helped companies generate billions of dollars in revenue. Their success rate when working directly with companies to improve their growth approaches 100%. Great marketing isn't about hitting the lottery with a product. Great marketing is all about creating relationships with messaging. A lot of people confuse marketing with the broader subject of communications, but marketing is communication with a goal, to develop a deeper relationship with your prospective customer. So, what kind of relationships are major record labels developing? Wham bam. Thank you, Baha Man. For the past 3 decades, almost 10% of all songs on the Billboard Top 100 were by one-hit wonders. What does it say when a company can ship millions of units for its first product but can't get anyone to buy the follow-up? Oftentimes, in the music industry, that gets blamed on the inventor, the artist, not the company promoting the product, the major label. That is, when second albums flop, the labels assume that the artist just couldn't produce another hit. They don't think of the fact that they just lost a million customers. Tired of uneventful release cycles? Learn to build and monetize your fan base. Access our Indie Pro training suite. Number 3. The record deal has a devastating failure rate. 30-year music business veteran and formerly noted expert on the subject, Moses Avalon, wrote this amazing article breaking down the numbers behind the major label business model. It should come as no surprise to you that getting signed to a major record label is like winning the lottery, in the sense that most people don't win it, and those who do usually end up right back where they came from. I don't mean to make this whole thing all doom and gloom, so let's look at the numbers. According to Avalon, 1 in 42 acts submitting to record labels do not get signed. This number is a liberal estimate, as not all acts signed in a given year actually submitted demos. Some were scouted, but pending that you actually are one of the lucky ones that do get signed, you still face a treacherous road of disappointment, failure, and abject consequences. Avalon goes on to explain that these days, 99% of those actually signed to major labels each year never get to release their first album. In fact, only 0.2% of acts signed to a major label manage to avoid getting dropped from that label in the process of fulfilling their contract. This can be for many reasons. As explained in this BuzzFeed article, sometimes labels are acquired, merged with other labels, or unceremoniously shut down. All the artists in development at that time are usually caught in the shuffle. Sometimes A&Rs get fired and their signees go on the back burner. Sometimes labels are only signing you to make sure you never release their music. Tired of uneventful release cycles? Learn to build and monetize their fan base. Access our Indie Pro training suite. Number 4. Artists do get intentionally shelved. You won't find a whole lot about this on the internet. You'll hear mentions of it in interviews with label veterans. You may read about it in books involving the music industry, but almost every other shitty thing that record labels do has been covered intensively in some article or another. So it's time that this information be made as public as possible. Out of the 99.8% of artists signed to a record label and drop before fulfilling their contract, a certain percentage are intentional failures. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.